I was doing the cardio, the workouts, and my body wasn't changing. I was not toning, I wasn't losing that fat, and not to mention how my body felt. Like when I would go in to work out, I was tired. My body was extremely tired.
What's going on, everyone? Hey, you guys. So today I have a WarriorBabe here. Her name is Sandra. And before she found WarriorBabe, she was doing everything: personal trainers, 2-a-day workouts, extreme cardio, clean eating, and still was getting nowhere. At 61, she felt like her dream body just wasn't like in her cards anymore. But after taking the leap and joining WarriorBabe, everything changed. And with her coach's support, she let go of old habits. She built strength that she didn't know it was even possible. And she stepped into the strongest, most confident version of herself. And today she's here to tell that story, which I'm really excited about. Sandra, welcome.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Like I said, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to share my story and what Warrior Babe has truly done for me. Like you said, I was feeling so frustrated. I had three personal trainers, the last one for a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
I was working out, like I said, twice a day, doing all the things I thought I was supposed to do, tons of cardio, and seeing very minimal results. I became so frustrated because I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
There's got to be something that I'm missing. So, went on Facebook and I started looking and I seen you, Nikki, and I thought, wow, I love everything that she's saying. I love everything that she's saying about the program, about eating and all those things. Maybe this is what I need. So I called and I make it, long story short, of course I joined.
Yeah.
And
Wait, Sandra, before we even dive into like you finding Warrior Babe and joining and starting your transformation, I want to ask that point that you just said, like doing hours of cardio, working with multiple coaches, like what were some of the most, you mentioned that you were frustrated. What were some of the most frustrating roadblocks that kept you from getting to where you wanted to be?
I mean, the thing of it is, like I said, I was doing the cardio, the workouts, and my body wasn't changing. I was not toning, I wasn't losing that fat, and not to mention how my body felt. Like when I would go
Mm.
in to work out, I was tired. My body was extremely tired. And there's been, many mornings I'm like, I can't do this, but I pushed through and I did it. But my body, I just did not feel good. My body did not feel good. I did not feel strong. I did not feel energetic, that I could continue to do these workouts. And I knew that, like I said, I knew that I needed something different. I
Right.
knew, and even though I knew I was older, I had the willpower and had the determination, but I just didn't have the right tools to make that successful.
So what was going through your mind when you saw the Warrior Babe ad for the first time?
Well, to be honest with you, I was a little hesitant because I was thinking, I was excited, but at the same time, I was frustrated because nothing had worked. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, okay, is this going to work? Is this really going to work? But at the same time, I knew I had to try something different. If I wanted to reach my goals, I was
Mhm.
determined that I was going to do this. And so I decided to give it a try. And immediately, I have to say, immediately, they paired me with my wonderful coach, Carrie Johnson, who I absolutely adore. And I have to say, in the beginning, she put me through a retrain, and I remember sitting down and I just cried because I thought, she don't know what she's doing. I got discouraged because I thought, oh my gosh, I've, she has no clue. Why am I in a retrain? I was eating the food. I was not eating as much as I should have, but I thought I was doing all the right things.
So when you got placed into the retrain and emotionally you had a trigger to it, like you were like, this is, does she know what she's doing? I'm eating more food. I don't understand this process. What limiting beliefs around food and about food and with your body did you have to like let go of to accept, this retrain process?
I did. I had to totally let go because everything that I was told and was trained to do, it seemed like was the totally opposite of what I was now being told to do. And
Right.
that was so difficult for me because I wanted to go to the gym morning and the evening. I wanted to do all of that cardio. I wanted to to maybe not eat quite as much food, or, I wanted to do all these things. And that was so difficult for me because I had to train. I had to listen to my coach. And at the same time, I was wondering, okay, does she really know what she's doing? Is this process going to work? But I'll never forget it. My daughter came to me and she said, Mom, you've got to give it a chance, and I did. And I did everything my coach told me to do. And within a few months, I was like, oh my gosh, she knows what she's doing. And I
Well,
started seeing some results, and my body started to feel better. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have energy. Like, I'm not exhausted when I go.
I love that you trusted us along the way and you full sent into what Carrie was telling you that you needed to do, and you let the emotions kind of like allow there to be present, but like accepting what your daughter said, just lean into it, accept it, and then now where you are, which I'm excited to talk about your results, which we're totally going to talk about that in a second. But I want to rewind a little bit to like when you saw the Warrior Babe ad and you're like, you knew you had to try something, you knew you were a little worried because you've tried other things in the past, and they weren't getting you to where you wanted to be. What made you, when you saw the ad and and sign up and fill out the application, like, was there something that resonated with you in that video that was like, oh, I need to take the leap?
It was other testimonies, it was other women, and and you also, because to me it was so inspiring that where your journey has become.
Mhm.
And and like I said, and also the women, and I wish I could remember her name, but the one that I signed on with, she was so helpful and reassuring me, that this process works. But I think overall it was just, I believed in what you were saying. It's all about, I knew it was about macros. I knew that's where I was missing it, and
Mhm.
so I knew that I had to log, to get into that vein, so to speak, so I could find out what I was missing in my whole workout and my whole, macros and all of these things. Especially when you get older, I feel like it's so much harder to accomplish these goals. And so that's why I knew that I needed that extra help with my macros, especially. Um,
So
you
when
know,
you heard we were macro based and you were knew that that was a missing link, what were your first like initial thoughts around you actually implementing macros? Like, was it overwhelming? Was it a lot of work? Like, what did you think about it for at first when you joined?
well, I had already been doing macros a lot on my own,
Mhm.
but I didn't realize the extent of it. So when I started doing it, actually that part was pretty easy for me because I had already been doing it. It was just a matter of, meeting all of those proteins and, carbs and things like that. So in fueling my body, I mean, because, I would ask other personal trainers at the gym, again, like I said, I'm in an all women's gym. So I had plenty of people that I would ask, personal trainers and stuff, and they would all tell me something different. It seems like,
Oh no.
okay, no, you need to be eating 1,800 calories. You need to be eating 1,600 calories. So it was all so different. So then, when you start doing the things that my coach Carrie had told me to do, and you start seeing results, then it's like, okay, this is what's working. Like they know the process, they know the tools, the right thing to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's
You
exciting. When you see things happen, you get so excited.
For sure. I'm so happy that the retrain process, although it was like daunting at first, it made you realize that, oh my gosh, I do need more food. I haven't been fueling my body like maybe the right way that it needs to be able to get me the results that I want. And then you started to see the results and you started to trust the process a little bit more like, oh, this actually works, which I love. I love
Yes.
that, that came full circle for you. Now, you mentioned that you worked with like several coaches before. What felt different about the guidance or the structure or the support that you received with us through Warrior Babe?
I think, Nikki, to me, the most important thing with my coach Carrie is that Carrie is totally honest, and she will tell you what you need to do. And you might not like it, but if you will follow this program and what the coaches tell you, you're going to see results. And that's what I loved about Carrie. She was so honest and she was so motivating, inspiring. I mean, and she doesn't let you quit. I don't think any of the coaches on Warrior Babe will let you quit. I mean, as
Mhm.
far as, giving up, and they just motivate you to keep going and to push forward and to know that you can do this, that you're unstoppable, as you say so many times, that even though age is just a number, we can be 50, we can be 60, we can do all these things. And that's what I'm so grateful for the most, I think, if with Warrior Babe, is that I'm 61. But that hasn't stopped me by no means. I am want to get stronger. I want to keep lifting those heavy weights. And I just want to do more and more because I've learned that my body is as strong as I train it to be.
Yes.
And, as long as we have all the right components and the food and all of these rest and all these things. And that's one thing, like I said, I loved about, because she set me in the right direction, and if I ever had a question, it was immediately, there was a response. There was, many times just encouraging me through a text message or something like that, and then you have the calls and you have your whole team that comes and helps you, supports you, and answers your call, the team huddle meetings, every other week, that we can talk about things and encourage each other. And it's just a whole mountain of wonderful things that you can't get with,
Mhm.
with the coaches that I had before. And that's when I knew, when I linked into Warrior Babe, I said, oh, this is it. Let me tell anybody that's going to listen.
Oh, I love
So,
that. I
yeah.
love that, and as we were catching up beforehand, you mentioned that there's a lot of women that come up to you and ask you how long it took you to do, like, a lunge or the things that you're doing inside the gym, and you get to just, like, preach warrior babe to all the women that you run into, and I love that. That's like it's spread the word so that everybody can get a piece of the results that people are hoping that they can get, but maybe they just don't know where to get it from, you know?
Yes, yes. I had a goal of doing a 90-pound lunges, which I have met that goal thanks to my wonderful coach. But and just, I mean, I have women all the time come up to me and ask me, how old are you? And I said, look, age is just a number. I said, that doesn't mean you can't come in here and, lift these weights, and because it's something that I absolutely love to do. When I put those weights in my hand, I feel like, oh yeah, I got this. And even like the lady that was giving me a massage, she noticed my change, my me changing, and she asked me about it, and I told her about it. Well, she told a client of hers about Warrior Babe. And the lady called me, and I told her, I said, yes, call them. And as far as I know today, she signed up. But
Wow.
yeah, I mean, so it's just stories like that I want to help other women to
Yes.
know that this program works, ladies. Take a chance, dive in, and try it because it works. And since I've been with Warrior Babe, the things that I've been able to accomplish, it's
Yeah.
just incredible.
Let's dive into that now. So where are you in your journey with us? Like what are the top things that you're most proud of? What are some of the results that you've seen so far?
Oh my gosh, it has to be the 90-pound lunges. I mean, that to me is, and I'm doing things that I see 30-year-old women that can't do. And that is
Mhm.
exciting to me, especially, I'm double their age. And then I've told Carrie, I've always dreamed about doing those 30-pound bicep curls. And I'm doing them now, Nikki. I'm
Look at
doing
you
them.
go, Sandra, look at
Yes.
you go.
And I'm just so stoked. I'm doing the 60-pound, 21 bicep curls. And when I do that, it feels amazing because I see my body becoming nothing but a muscle, a strength that, it's just, to me, is incredible. It's totally
Yes.
incredible. And the thing, Nikki, about is amazing to me now is that when I go into the gym, I am not tired. I am not. When I go into, and before I would have to take something like Ignite, like a high
Pre-workout.
caffeine. Yeah, and I take absolutely 100% nothing except for, of course,
Yes.
my food and my water, and that, before my workout. But now I am so ready when I go in that gym. I am stoked. I'm ready to go to lift those heavy weights, and I'm not tired.
Oh,
That's to me
man.
is the biggest takeaway is my energy. It is
I
incredible.
love that. I love that for you. I love hearing that. I think that's so awesome. It's so important because, a lot of women struggle with low energy and not being motivated to get to the gym. And if you just fuel your body the right way and give it what it needs, look at you. You have all the energy to go and you don't need a pre-workout and you're absolutely rocking it inside the gym. You're hitting 90-pound lunges. Like that's incredible. At 61.
Yes, that's 61. That's right.
Yeah. And how long have you been a Warrior Babe now?
I'm going into July. I'm going into my third year.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
That's
So
incredible. And I was reading through like your form, right? And you said I have been a Warrior Babe for about, you're going in your third year and have accomplished more than I did in 5 years with my other coaches.
absolutely, absolutely. That's what is so credible about this program. And that's why you see I'm so excited to tell everybody when I have the opportunity,
Yeah.
because it works. And when you've done something for, when you had done something for years before and it didn't work, and then you
Mhm.
have this program and then it works, you get pretty darn excited about it.
I
And you're
love
pretty
that.
grateful. That's what I am. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this program because it truly works. And I kept thinking, okay, right now I'm in a build. I've been in there for about 7 months. And
Let's talk about that. What does that build look like for you? How'd you feel like being told, or was that like a mutual decision between you and Carrie, or was that like, hey, Carrie to you being like, I think it's time that we maybe spend time in a build so we can build more muscle. What was that like when you guys had that
it was
conversation?
pretty much a mutual decision because she knows I want the muscle. I want to build
Yeah.
that muscle. I want to look like I can kick your tail, so to speak. So,
I'm curious, how
yeah,
much food are you eating in a build right now?
2,400.
2,400 calories at 61 years old. I just need to highlight that so a lot of
Yeah.
people can hear that because it's like, and then talk to me about the results. Like, are we maintaining your weight, but yet you're getting a little bit leaner with it because you're building that muscle? Like, what does that look like right now?
Well, like I said, 7 months, I've gained about 17 pounds.
Okay.
Yes, but
Okay. How does that
however,
make you feel? Because when people hear that, people are like, holy shit, I'm going to freak out. 17 pounds that is wild. How does that make you feel?
you know what, Nikki? I just am enjoying the process, seriously, because now after being with Warrior Babe for going in my third year, I realize that this process is working, and I'm going to do what I need to do to get this muscle. And so I'm still wearing the thing to me is incredible to me is that I'm still wearing all of my same clothes. I have not, not been able to wear my clothes. I can still wear the same clothes. I'm thinking, how can I still wear the same clothes, especially the pants? And
Yeah.
I've gained almost 20 pounds. And I tell you why, it's because I'm gaining muscle, I'm
Hmm.
losing that fat,
Hmm.
and I am. I mean, yes, I've picked up weight, but I know when I go through back to the maintenance and the cut, I'm going to lose that, and then the
Hmm.
muscle. The muscle definitely is there, and it's building. I mean, I've gained a half an inch already in my biceps. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and I can just see the huge difference when I flex, and it's just so exciting to see your body totally transforming.
Yeah.
You
How's
just get
that
so
make you
excited.
feel? How's that Yeah, there you go. How's that make you feel to realize how strong that you've become?
Oh my gosh. It's hard to describe that because it's so it's just incredible. It's
Mhm,
amazing.
mhm.
And I tell Carrie all the time, Carrie, I'm so grateful for this program. I just can't say that enough because I am feeling like a machine that can't be stopped. And that's how I feel. When I go into the gym, I'm like, bring on them weights, darling. I'm ready. And it's just a passion of mine, and now I'm finally being able to do the passion that I've always wanted to do but didn't have the energy one to do it.
Yeah.
And and now I know what I was missing is some of the food, and that's what a lot of women, that's another one I tell women all the time. You have to eat, you have to fuel your body. You have to um, have that fuel to do these things.
Mhm.
And I was just talking to a lady the other day about Warrior Babe and about, you have to eat, and I asked her, I said, if you don't mind me, what are you eating? She said, oh, about 1,200 calories a day. And I said, she's trying to lift them weights. She's not able to do it. and it's just more women need to know about these things,
Sure.
and that's what I love about what you do about telling women, um, that we can be strong. We don't have to, we can be strong and we can feel amazing no matter our age,
Right.
no matter the stage of life that we're going through.
I love the ripple effect that you have from your journey to then preaching it and sharing it with other women that need to hear it. I think that's one of the most like coolest things about our community, and one of the most blessed things about our community is like we're the team at Warrior Babe is only so many people, but like you guys are so many more because our community is so big now, and you guys preaching it to the women that don't know yet about us, that just makes them realize, hey, there is hope, there is a program that can help them to transform and to realize this knowledge and this understanding. So I just love, thank you for preaching the word and getting other women on board. The second thing I want to say to that point that you were talking about, like the narrative around the build, like I'm still on that when you were talking about that like a couple minutes ago. You like for women to hear like, oh, gain 17 pounds, like people will be freaking out. But you have the narrative of like, I know that I need to eat this food. I know that I may gain some weight along the way, but I'm also gaining some muscle. That's which going to give me more of the composition that I want when I go into a cut or into a fat loss phase. I'm going to be revealing of the work that I've already done. Like that narrative for most women, like you've been with us for 3 years, so you understand the phases, you understand that you need to eat more and build muscle. But someone listening to this right now is like, oh my God, their mind is blown. But I love the narrative that you have around it because you know what's necessary in order to achieve that goal. So I think that's really cool, and kudos to you.
Yes, and I'll be honest with you. When I first come into the program, I was the same way. I'd be one of those women that are like, "Oh my gosh, there's no way."
Yeah.
But what I find is also one that I'm hungry. I want that food. I want
I
that
love
food. Give me that food. I kid with my coach all the time. Okay, Carrie, when you gonna up my food some more? Because I want that food. I'm doing that hard workout. And so my body is hungry because I am burning that fat
Yeah.
and I am burning them calories and stuff like that. But not only that, but how it makes me feel incredible. It makes me feel, and so, I'd much rather have that energy and have to feel the way this body does than, worrying about, a few pounds gained. But like I said before, then when you go through those other, it's just a process. It's a journey that you have to go through to
Yeah.
get that goal that you want to reach. And, that's to me, it's, again, I'm so grateful for that, to be able to realize that at this stage and point in my life, that, again, which I said before, is another thing that I want to share with other women, and I'm actually going through right now to be a personal trainer,
I love that.
because I want to empower other women, about their bodies, and that how we need to take care of our bodies, and fuel them. And so I can tell more about Warrior Babe.
I love that, Sandra. That's awesome. That's a beautiful way of, continuing to spread the word. I think what you said there too as well that really resonated with me is that, you're getting stronger and you have more energy and you're at 61, right? And you're building more muscle. Like you're literally adding more years to your life. Like the trajectory of the decades you saw, or to 70 to 80 to 90, like it's going to be drastically different than maybe like the years before. And maybe if you hadn't made a change or hadn't dove into the program, like, and we're still trying to figure it out, or being led by coaches that, weren't necessarily giving you the right type of information that you needed specifically for you, which is crazy to think about it, right? When you put it in that perspective.
Yes, and that, and that's what I think a lot of women, why they get so frustrated, because they don't see the results happening. And yes, it doesn't happen. I know you've preached this so many times. It doesn't happen in 3 months. It doesn't happen in 6 months. Yes, you will start to see some changes, but you do have to be patient. You have to trust the process, and you have to really, if you want it and work hard and be consistent, you're going to see results. There's no way about it.
Yeah.
This past week we were at the beach, me and my daughter, we were on vacation. She was walking beside of me. She turned, she looked at me. She's like, "Mom." I said, "What?" She said, "Look at your booty." And I just started cracking up. I said, "What about my booty?" Oh, she said, "Mom, it's looking amazing. Look at you. Look at them
Oh.
biceps. You are looking amazing." And she tells me all the time, "I'm so stinking proud of you, Mom. I brag
Oh.
about you all the time." She said, "Because you've taken this journey and you don't let nothing stop you. You're going to reach your goals, and it's just so, and it's made her want to be more fit and to watch what she eats and all of these things, which is so important to me.
Yeah.
But it makes you feel good when someone looks at you and say, "Man, look at that booty," or "Man, look at them biceps." Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
does really
Oh,
make you feel good. Yeah.
that's a great support system to have. Great support system to
Absolutely.
have.
Yes.
Now I'm curious because we're gonna be wrapping this up and I have a couple more questions for you, but, you mentioned, like, endless amounts of cardio at the beginning. How much cardio were you doing?
Oh, I was running. I was running miles. I was running probably couple miles a day.
Wow.
Plus, I was doing high incline on 10 or 12 incline on the treadmill, doing a lot of
Wow.
walking. I was doing rowing. I was doing jumping jacks. I was doing, you name it, I was pretty much doing it.
Wow.
And again, it saw minimal results.
Yeah.
I was always told you got to do cardio. You got to do cardio. That's what's so important. You got to do cardio.
You
Well,
gotta eat
guess
less and do more cardio, and you'll get the results that you want. False.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
False. Eat more, do less cardio, and strength train.
Absolutely, 100%.
So, for somebody that's watching this right now who feels stuck like you once did, what would you tell them about Warrior Babe?
I would tell them 100% give worry. If you're on the fence, if you're thinking about it, if you're wondering, "Hey, does this program really works?" I'm here to tell you I've tried just about everything. This program works. Give it a try. Meet your fabulous coach and have that one-on-one relationship with your coach, and give this program a try. You will not be disappointed. If you trust the process and be patient and be consistent, do the work, you're going to see results. There's no way that it will not happen. You just have to believe in yourself and have to believe that you can do this, no matter what phase of life you're in, no matter if you have to lose weight, build muscle tone, lose fat, whatever your goals are. This program will get you to where you want to be. I have
Oh.
100% no doubt whatsoever.
I love it, Sandra. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and being here with us. And thank you for also, you're living proof that your transformation is possible at any age. If you have like the right support, you have the right strategy, or the right belief, and you could become the woman that you've always wanted to be. And that's exactly who you are now. And it's so cool to see what you've done. You should be so proud of the work that you've done. And I'm really excited to see what more is yet to come for you.
Thank you, Nikki. I am very proud of myself, but I just want to tell you that personally, that I'm so grateful that you have, been a co-founder, whatever, and started this program, because so many women out there needed this, and I'm just so grateful that I have the opportunity to be a part of this program, and I just got to give a one little plug about my coach, Carrie Johnson,
Yeah, of course.
because
She deserves it.
she
She's been with us for so
she
long. She's an incredible
yes,
human.
she is an incredible human being, and I just love her so much. I love her for being patient with me, and even though in the beginning I doubted her, but I know now she's amazing. But
Yeah. Yeah. She deserves all the plugs. She's a great person and a great coach. And she, as you said
yes,
earlier, will tell you what we a lot of the coaches do, but Carrie's really good at it, is we will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So
exactly.
to get you to where you want to be, it's got to be brutal honesty. Sometimes it can be like a tough love hate relationship. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, Sandra, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and keep crushing it.
Okay, thank you, Nikki.